Welcome back, everyone, to the fourth round of the Oklahoma FIDE tournament. Sorry, I forgot to flip the board there. In this round, I am playing against a 2022 player who's pretty strong. He beat an NM in round 2, and I know he always plays these like knight f3 b3 stuff, so I'm like, okay, that's very annoying to face. So I decided to play this move d6. What this move does is it basically forces him to make a decision. If he plays b3, my idea is to play e5. And then this is a setup that I love. In the first game, I was going to play this, but I decided on something else. E5 first, though. But it does allow him to play d4. Also, if e4, we go into a Sicilian, which I'm, of course, fine with. So, d4, knight f6, and then it turns into a King's Indian, which was my backup plan if he played d4. Castles, bishop g2, c6, castles, and then this new idea, queen a5, that I've been playing online a bit. And the idea is basically c4 and queen h5. So you just play queen a5, queen h5, and you just try and checkmate the white king as fast as possible. This is my plan. Now the best move is something with h4, or just ignoring this, but he played rook e1, with the idea of bishop h3, bishop h1, and this is something I hadn't seen before. Is just coming back with the bishop. I'm like, okay, the king's feeling pretty airy with the squares around the king, so I played just the normal plan on this, knight g4, just bringing the knight over. Now this isn't very good because I'm never really checkmating. Like if I move the bishop and sack, like there's some world where it does work, but it doesn't quite work here. So e4, I played e5. Now I considered the move, and there's some lines I was calculating here with the move f5. And this is my original idea, but the problem I found with it is e takes f5, rook takes f5. This is a free pawn, and I thought he could not take this. I thought this was uncapturable. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember why I thought this was uncapturable. Maybe it's something. Oh yeah, it was this. I thought I had knight takes h2, and the idea is that if knight takes, obviously he hangs his queen. If king takes, then I have bishop g4 check, and of course if you defend. But the problem is here, rook e8. And apparently after queen e2 I'm just losing. So good thing I didn't end up going for that. I just decided to play e5 because okay, if he locks the position, then I can play f5, and e5 I thought was better. So queen d2. Now this idea I thought made sense. Of course, if I allow him to play queen g5, if first of all if he trades queens here, my position makes zero sense. What are my pieces doing here? If the queens end up coming off, my bishop's gonna get trapped. Like everything is bad. It's a bad endgame. So I'm like, okay, bishop h6 is my original idea. Attack the queen, stop queen g5, but then I realized he's going to go to b4 and fork my pawns. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting forked here. But then I realized that it doesn't actually matter. And I can play bishop h6, queen b4, and this move f5. And this I thought was very good because, first of all, you can't really go venturing over here. This wins a rook, but this you can't do this. F4 even, like you cannot take this rook. You can't send your queen to no man's land and then you're gonna get made like knight to teach. I mean, there's so many ways that I can win this game that I knew that the queen, and he also knew that he can't go win my rook. You can also try and take the pawn, but I opened things up with moves like this and this, and I thought it was very good. So he took. Now here I have a decision to make: take with queen or take with rook. Taking with rook keeps threats of the knight alive, but I thought he just defends, and I don't have anything. And the computer agreed, so I took with the queen because I have ideas here now: e4 and queen c2. So these are my two plans here. Of course he takes. Now here I have just a completely winning move that I just completely forgot about. I was set on, okay, I'll tell what I'm calculating here. Is queen c2. He's gonna go bishop d4. It's the only move to defend. I'm gonna play the move c5, hitting both things. He's gonna go queen c3 because he has to try and attack my queen and get out. I'm gonna play queen f5, backing up, putting pressure on the knight. He's gonna play bishop e3, and I'm gonna take and then go bishop g7. Boom. And then I win the pawn, and I have the bishop pair, and I'm gonna be fine. And there's also another line that I was calculating, which is queen c2, bishop d4, c5. He can take my pawn, and then like try and sack the bishop. But takes. I have bishop e3 there. So the line is this c5 takes. I move bishop e3, and this is gonna be checkmate, or he loses this queen. So I played c5. Or I played queen c2, bishop d4, and c5, and I forgot about knight a3. I didn't forget. I thought I had queen f5 here, but I just completely forgot that this hangs and this is open. I just forgot that when like the position opened up as much as I did. So here I have to take this. There's nothing else. I didn't, by the way. I didn't play queen takes f2. But queen takes f2 I just leads to a bad endgame. Like I just thought takes knight c2 or something. Or actually, knight b5. Yeah, it's better. Yeah. This is just bad, and I have to beg for a draw, basically. So I went queen f5, which loses the game. Well, it doesn't lose, but it gives white like a pretty good advantage. So he took, and my idea here was taking the bishop. Queen takes a8, and knight takes e5. And the point is, okay, I'm probably going to win this knight, because you can't move it. And then I know he has this idea, right? Queen d5, king h8, he can sack the rook, takes, bishop d7, takes. And I countered the material that I'm like, okay, I'm down a pawn, but have this strong pass d pawn, and maybe I can create something. So he plays queen d5, king h8, only move. Takes, bishop d7, takes. And then it's this position that I realized I'm not down one pawn, I'm down two. I'm down 2 pawns here. I only have 4 and he has 2. Or and he has 6. So I'm realizing that now, like, oh yeah, I'm just much worse here. Now it's not over. Have the 2 bishops. Have the pawn on d4 that can maybe push down the board. And then immediately he makes an inaccuracy. He played this move fast, rook d1, which does allow bishop g4. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming back. I thought that sacrificing the rook could be a good idea. Here he plays rook d3, best move, knight c6. And here I thought that one of his ideas was going to be to play the move knight c2, and it actually is the best move. Bishop f5, I thought he was going to sack. But apparently, the best move is this. He sacks it in a different way, and we both just missed knight e1. Just defends the rook. And after takes, this is not good. Apparently, actually, this is... Because he has the light scores, I guess. My light scores are too weak, and I'm just worried. Probably I can draw this, but... Yeah, it's not something that I want to have happen. But he played knight e1. Which is an inaccuracy, and it goes from plus like 1.5 to e. And I played the right move. Only move here. You have to bring the knight in. Place the only move. And then here I found a nice move here. I actually thought this was not a good move when I played it. But it's the best move, and it's the move d3. Closing or opening up the door with the bishop, and also stopping knight d3, which is a big idea. And yeah, knight d3 here, which is the best move. Bishop c3. He goes for a position like this, and I was fine with this. I mean, this is a 3-resolve position. I have the 2 bishops. He has 2 knights bishop, but he also has 3 pawns. So, you know, I thought this was 2 results for me, which I was fine with after getting into this terrible position. But he played knight b1. And this is a move that I had looked at, and I thought I had bishop to f5. However, what I thought I missed was bishop f5. Or sorry, I won't make the moves. Bishop f5, a3, rook e8, rook d1. I was calculating this. I thought I had knight a6 there. Knight takes c3 and rook d8, and I win that. So I played bishop f5. a3, rook e8, and he plays blitzes king f1. It's funny. The move that I thought he was going to play was the best, but the move that I didn't want him to play is bad. So rook d1, I was going to play knight a6, but apparently after knight takes c3, he does not lose the knight. Oh yeah, he has bishop d5. Yeah, I did see this idea. I was going to do something else here. Yeah, knight c2, but we'll get to that in a second. So king f1. And feel free to try and find the only way to not lose the game. This is kind of funny. There's only one way. There's only one way to not lose this black. Only one line. The only line to not lose is knight c2. And, okay, obviously if you take, you lose on the spot because there's 2 threats. You can't stop both. And taking looks like a free pawn. But I realized I have the move bishop h6. It attacks the rook. And I would like to mention, I want to take and go rook e1. But this doesn't work because I win the knight, but I'm back ranked and I have to lose my bishop. So the idea with this move is that I win a tempo and move the bishop out of the way. And then I can go king g7, and then I'm going to be okay. I'm going to have a piece for 3 pawns, which is still very much a game. Now here, f4 is a move. I had calculated bishop d3, rook e1. Apparently here he has king f2. And apparently here, when I take the knight, what does he have? Oh yeah, he has bishop e4, and that's pretty sad. But I was probably gonna take this bishop, and like it's a game. but he played bishop c6. He kind of just exploded here because he has no time and he missed bishop h6. Because like even a move like rook d1, I thought like takes. I mean rook e1 here. This is equal according to the engine, but this bishop is never moving. This bishop is in jail. Like the king has to move to get the bishop out, but when the king moves, you lose the bishop. So this bishop is just stuck forever. And like the best thing is apparently there's some engine line that draws because you push the pawn up. But yeah. But he played bishop c6, which does blunder. Takes, bishop takes c3. And here the difference is that after king g1, I was going to play like bishop one of these squares, like a5, something. The difference between these two is the rooks are gone, and the knight is also like really stuck. So, and then here, low time, he played king g2, knight e1. It's just over because I'm winning the second piece. And in this position, he resigned. So a bit of a scary game. I very well could have lost in that endgame, but you know, I found the tricks needed to keep it going and make my lower-rated opponent slip. But it's still a very, very interesting game. So yeah, I am going to prepare for round number 5, final round, and I'll see y'all in that video. All right, bye everyone.